first edition of Coffee with Knowi, Jay, and you turn up with a cup of tea. Let's explain that.
You're one to talk with that thing in your hand.
It's a high quality espresso.
Sure. Does your pinky finger go out when you drink it?
You can. So let's talk about what's happening in this world of, I guess, big data, messy data, data analytics, call it what you want. A lot of movement, a lot of acquisitions, a lot of mergers, some might say some hostile takeovers, etc. What do you think? What do you think's actually happening?
Well, a lot's gone on in the last month and some, right? So it's a bit like Game of Thrones, business intelligence edition.
Yeah.
So on the one hand, you had Salesforce acquire Tableau, Looker and Google, Periscope and Sisense merging, Zoom Data and Logi. So there's a lot happening in the space. I think this was to be expected to some degree because there were a lot of players doing specific pieces of the puzzle, and there were too many of them in some ways. And I think we're seeing the effects of that shaking out.
Yeah.
But I think this sets the stage for really interesting things over the next decade, I think.
Yeah. I mean, if we take a step back as to what happens in acquisitions, mergers, etc. I know both of us have been through it at some part of our career and whatever else. We've seen sometimes where it is truly a match made in heaven, great fit, great synergy, great leadership and membership, and I guess collaboration, and then we see the opposite. We've seen what looks like a hostile takeover,
right,
where you take these great, awesome, standalone kind of teams, try fit them into a larger organization with a ton of bureaucracy and potentially much bigger visions for what this little company may have had, and you just see it dissipate. Like, what's your perspective? I mean, I know mine. I know what I've been through, where I've seen. I guess I've been on the fortunate side, where I've become part of a great organization, great culture fit, great product fit. What about you?
I think it remains to be seen. I think when you look at what these companies are trying to do, they are trying to be that layer in between where the data is and the underlying business.
Yeah.
So the market today is very fragmented. As I mentioned, the different people solving different pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And they're trying to be that single layer for that data across wherever that data might be. But cobbling together companies, it's always a bit of a risky thing. Right?
Yeah.
So if you look at Salesforce and Tableau, Salesforce is a cloud-based company. Tableau is bread and butter as a desktop solution, right? How do architecturally, how do the products match up?
Yeah.
Remains to be seen.
Just read yesterday, a couple of days, I guess really trending at the moment is this, I'm going to say, hostility of some of the shareholders that we've seen, the Salesforce shareholders, around the acquisition of Tableau. Didn't make sense. It's an all-stock acquisition. What does it mean for them? Was all the information disclosed? It's kind of, I guess, scary in some ways for people that have dumped a bunch of money into these big companies, hoping to get something out of it at the end of the day. What do you think? I mean, I know it's early days, it's new information, but what do you think of that?
I don't know. I think it would blow over.
Yeah.
I think the acquisition will go ahead. Because I think Tableau has been on Salesforce's radar for quite a while.
Yeah.
When Colin Powell's email got hacked many years ago, during I think the Democratic primaries or something.
Yeah.
Done that during election time in 2014. There was Tableau was on, because he's in the board of directors,
right,
and Tableau was on the list even back then.
Yeah.
So I think there's a strategic reason for them to make that happen, and shareholder dissent or not. I think.
So noise, just a whole lot of noise about it.
A
few disgruntled people.
Possibly, yeah.
Chicken Little Skies Falling kind of scenario.
Yeah.
Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, I don't think, because $15 million we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that's gonna, they've invested obviously time and effort into that.
Yeah, absolutely.